veg version of this, which is actually very simple. Okay, so let's begin with it. So first we're gonna need some boiled potatoes. And yes, these potatoes should be boiled and kept unpeeled in the refrigerator for a minimum of 4 hours. So just peel these and chop them into chunks, which will basically make it easier to incorporate everything together later on. Now, like the chicken has a little resistance when it's cooked, so to get that effect, we're gonna use some soy granules or soya granules. Just let these refresh in some water for about 10 to 15 minutes and they should be just fine. Alright, now all you need is a single carrot and you need to chop it very fine. But I'm gonna go with the carrot only. Okay, now for the spice mix, you only need some coriander powder, also known as dhania powder, some red chili powder, also known as lal mirch powder, some turmeric or turmeric powder, some garlic powder, or you can also use raw garlic if you like, some black pepper, also known as kali mirch, and finally some cumin powder, also known as jeera powder. Now you can see that our soy granules have refreshed completely, so just drain the excess water and keep this aside. And lastly, to complete this mix, you need a binder, which in my case is some rice flakes, which are also known as poha or beaten rice. But if you want alternatives, then you'll find them on my website. So for now, just refresh the rice flakes with some water and keep them aside. Alright, time to cook. So on a medium flame, we're gonna take some unsalted butter. You can also use some vegetable oil as well. And to this, we're gonna add our chopped carrots and cook the carrots until they're softened a little bit. It will take you about 3 to 4 minutes. At this point, we're gonna add our chopped potatoes, some salt, which is very important as it will help to release the moisture from the potatoes, and also add your soy granules. Just cook for about 2 to 3 minutes and incorporate everything, and then add your spice mix and the rice flakes. Make sure turn the flame off as soon as you add the rice flakes and just mash everything together. Alright, now all you need to do is to cover this with a cling wrap and try to keep it as tight as possible. And if you don't have cling wrap, then you can also use a Ziploc bag. Just keep this in a freezer for about 30 to 40 minutes. Now people ask me that why is this step important? Well, it's only because you want the starches in the potatoes to recrystallize. Okay, in the meanwhile, let's prepare the other stuff that we're gonna need. So for the stuffing, you need some mozzarella cheese. And to that, we're gonna add some Italian seasoning. And the link for the recipe of the seasoning is in the description bar down below, so don't worry. And if you remember correctly, in the chicken and cheese shots video, we coated them with some tortilla chips or nachos. So in the same way, you need some nachos and you need to crush them until they are like breadcrumbs. Now for the batter, we're gonna need some cornstarch, some all-purpose flour, and yes, I forgot to add salt here, but please, you don't forget it. And then we're gonna add some ice cold water. Now I'm gonna add some cornmeal in this because cornmeal gives some extra firmness to the batter. But if you don't want to use cornmeal, then don't use cornmeal. Okay, so just mix everything together and keep this batter aside. Now it's time to take our vegetable mix out of the freezer, and you can see that it's firmed up a little bit. So all you need to do is to take some vegetable mix in your hand. You just need to flatten it a little bit, and in the center add some of the mozzarella cheese. Then just pinch the edges together, close it gently and roll it into a ball. And that's it. Now I always feel that it's efficient to go in on an assembly line basis. So first you're gonna stuff and keep each and every ball, and then go for the batter and the crumb coating. So after stuffing, we're gonna dredge them in some cornstarch so that the batter can stick properly, and then comes in our batter. And finally our crumb coating, which in my case is some nachos. And if you don't want to use nachos, then you can definitely use normal breadcrumbs. And yes, you can store these vegetable cheese shots for about 5 to 6 days, kept in an airtight container inside a freezer, or you can also fry them at 170 degrees centigrade just until they are golden brown, or if the cheese starts to come out from it. And there you go guys, how to make the vegetable version of the chicken and cheese shots recipe that I posted. And as always, you'll find all the list of ingredients and their measurements on my website. And if you like this video, do give it a thumbs up. For updates and queries, you can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Google+. Until then, I'll see you all next time.